Okay, I'm here. Hello, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage. Thank you so much for joining me, and please share the video. It's one way that I can keep in business. I cannot be doing videos every week if nobody ever shares. So I do appreciate it. I know a whole bunch of you are probably over on YouTube at some point, and then of course I don't get to see you. But if you're here on Facebook, I have my little computer on the side going so I can hopefully see your comments. And anyway, my timing is always just a little off since getting settled, and here my routine is different. So I apologize if I'm earlier than you expected. I think I said I was going to start at 2 and it's actually 1:15 or thereabouts here. So holiday time's pretty busy for everybody, and you can watch this at your leisure whenever you want. So it's not like I expect people to be here with me, but I do appreciate when I do see people. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see. Oh, thank you, Trudy. It's nice to see you, Trudy. I had to get my glasses on to look way over there. Our Facebook has changed. It updated. Because Facebook stores information on your phone. Every few months I have to remove it completely and then put it on again because I don't know how to get rid of all the gigabytes of stuff it's trying to save. It gets rid of it by doing that. But when I reinstalled, it's got new things on, and it's got like all kinds of stuff. So I think I'm looking over here at the side to see it. Do I look the same? Pretty much good. I hope so, because there was a lot of stuff and the buttons were all in different places. All right, well today I wanted to do, I haven't really played a lot with the Pinecone dies. Was one of my favorite. I knew I was going to use it for Christmas, so I sort of saved it. And we're going to use this green foil. That is not in the catalog, I don't think, anymore. But I still had a bunch from last year because I bought a bunch of that red and green. I bought a bunch of extra last year because, red and green foil is something you're never going to not use at Christmas, right? So I knew that color wouldn't last, and I don't know why. Some of these are like standards. You would think they would be in every single Christmas catalog, but you're going to like this one. It's very simple and easy to do. And so I'm not going to get to my seasonal swirls dies. I did want to do those too, but that is just not going to happen today. But I am going to go ahead and put the camera down, and hopefully my lighting isn't too wonky. And we will see. Once I get the camera down, then I'll be able to see if it's functioning okay and if I need extra lights. And I might, but it always adds glare, and so I hate to add extra light because it always puts a lot of glare on the side. And if I don't put the light on, though, it just is like super dark. So here, let me just scoop you on over here. And then maybe that will give us a better... Good, that looks better. That looks much better now. It might be crooked, but other than that, I think we're good. All right. There is a sale going on, Actually, there's a few things going on. There's a sale, regular sale, because a whole bunch of things are retiring. And so you are going to want to get in there and buy these things, because this is not retiring, but the bundle set, this one actually probably is. It's the Christmas season one that is not retiring, but I'm not sure about this one. Trudy, you might know if this is retiring, but even if it's not retiring, the bundle price is going to retire. So bundle prices are only good for 1 year, that you get a 10% discount for buying the dies and the stamps together. So when the bundle price disappears, that's a good time to get it before that happens, because it does add up. So you want to do that. And the clearance rack. There's new things on the clearance rack all of the time, so you want to check into that too. Now today we're going to start with very vanilla cardstock. I've already cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I'm going to put crumb cake on the bottom. So, oops, this is a scrap of crumb cake. I think I'm going to need to grab a whole sheet of crumb cake because this is going to be a little bit larger because I want it to have a border. And if this is 4 1/4, I need my border to be a little bit bigger. Oh, you don't have the list near you. You know what? I do in my drawer, but I'm not going to get it out because it's, you know, we know we need to get in there and get these things. We're gonna go 4 1/2 this way, just to get a good border edge. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, you guys. I do appreciate it very much. It's difficult to come on here all by your little lonesome, so I do appreciate it. So we'll go 5 3/4 this way. And then I'm going to save this little scrap because we're going to cut out, I actually did say have a little scrap on the side. We're going to use that to cut out our pine cones. Do you guys have this pine cone set? It's really cute. I kind of purposely did not get it for a while. Now I can, unless I wanted to make the card from that one whole peach, which I could have done, but I like to mount it on a white, or in this case maybe a very vanilla base card. So whatever you do, you are going to want to tie this ribbon on here. So you don't want to just plop this down onto your base card. You want to work at it, okay? You don't have it. Oh, good. Then I'm glad I'm getting to show you something that you don't have. Because there's, you know, at this time of the year, because it's Christmas and because we are getting our new catalog in. Ooh, I'm running out of glue on this one. It looks like I might have to go open a new one because that is just, is it stuck? Maybe that's all it is because there's some gunk there. There's the new catalog's coming out, so people are all excited about that. And the no, maybe that wasn't it. No, yep, it was. The clearance rack has got stuff going on it all the time, and it's very tempting to spend all your money there. But if you do spend it all there, then you won't have your money that you wanted to buy stuff from the new catalog. So it's very much of a challenge for everyone, and it's hard to navigate, really. Sometimes which is more, and I just think, oh, just wait for that new one because there's always that new stuff. And then the other thing that makes it complicated at this time of the year anyway is that all of the demonstrators that are really big demonstrators that buy, you know, literally the whole catalog, more even, they buy more than one item of the whole catalog. They have a lot of things they want to sell, so they do those buy one, get one sales, you know. And the BOGO, is that how that works? I'm going to braise you up so that we can cut these out. I've got my green foil already trimmed a little bit, a little scrap here to do the base. And then the top layer is actually Pear Pizzazz. Let me grab a piece of that out. So I didn't want to, any light green will do. I did not want to have to do two different, you know, cutouts for this overlay, but I did want brown for my pine cones. Okay, so you'll get to see how I'm going to do that. So let me just cut out this Pear Pizzazz scrap. And anyway, so when there's the buy one get one sales all over the place, it's tempting to spend a lot of your money there too. Now, if you're already a demonstrator, I would really encourage you to be careful on that one because you do not get your minimum purchases when you do that. So that is a difficult thing to do, whether you want to do it. Some people do it to support, you know, their favorite demonstrator, and that's very kind of you to do that. All right, so I'm gonna put out that and probably get out a better base plate than I've got. I'll use my really heavily scarred one here, but I'll use my nicer one for this part. So do you guys do do you actually do your own buy one, get one sales? So you have these two large dies. These are the Christmas Pinecone dies, and I have it linked to this video because that's one of the new things is that you can actually do a link. It's not to this product. It's actually just to my Stampin' Up website, I believe. But the more detailed one, that's going to be the Pear Pizzazz. So we're going to get the big, more solid looking one. And we'll cut that out. Now, I did not run it through, excuse me, very dusty, I guess, here. Because that feels like an allergy dust cough. Maybe I stirred up some dust when I was getting stuff around. It's not very dusty here, which is really nice. Because Jeff's allergies were terrible back in the Tri-Cities because of his dust mite allergy. It's terribly dusty here. And you know what? I'm not having to dust more than once every 2 weeks. In the Tri-Cities, to keep it dusted, I would have had to have dusted literally every day. It was very dusty. So that's been pleasant to not have to do that. My house, I think, might be just a little dirtier, but it's such a big house that it's not that noticeable. Just because I vacuum like maybe once a week. I pretty much do have to do that, but it's a big job. And I don't dust though, but every 2 weeks. I'm trying to figure out my schedule for that. All right, now that looks like I cut it pretty good. But I'm thinking I want to go over that just a little bit more. Let's see if I can get it back on exactly perfect. Because there, I could feel it snap into place. So as long as you haven't taken it out at all, if you look on the back of your foil, you can see, don't know that really cut good enough. So we're going to run it through a little bit more. The foil is very thick. It has like not only the foil part isn't thick, but there's a thick cardstock on the back of it. And then they also have a thin, like plastic kind of, just a very thin layer, I think, on the back of the actual foil. And it does make it a little harder to cut through. So just go through however often you need to get it good. That's looking really good. Now I am going to put my little container here so you can see what I'm doing. I want to put my foil down onto this little sponge thing because I do want my foil to not get all marred when I'm rolling the roller over it to get all those little pieces out. And if you cut it really good, it'll work great. You won't have to take a ton of time with that. And then when you peel it out, you're going to have a really nice, see how nice my foil is? If I had done it the other way, my brush would have marred it. Okay, ooh, very cute. Let me throw these crumbs out. And you could, you know, I actually might save these edges of my foil for trim. At Christmas time, I do use a lot of little foil bits to kind of mimic ribbon on cards. Sometimes you can do it as a nice layer too. All right, so that one's done. Now we're going to do this one. This is the more detailed one. That doesn't look quite big enough. Did I not cut it large enough? Well, this one is fine. All right, so anyway, I don't do buy one, get one sales because I don't get rid of my old stuff. I actually don't use it as much as I'd like to, but just because I don't have time. But I don't get rid of them. I don't like to buy things I'm not going to use, and so then I test and kind of keep it, you know. I am running out of room. I am going to, even in the new house, I am going to have to be more diligent now this next year and not buy as much of that stuff. I just can't. I can't continue to justify that. Now, I don't want to put that away yet because I do want to also run through my little pine cones. I want, even though this is kind of time consuming, I just wanted you to see how easy it is. See how clean that came out? Very nice. Now this one, since it's just paper, it doesn't really matter. I can run it right on there and get all those little pine cone highlight pieces out. Get out of there. Okay, very good. Throw that away. I always end up with so many little pieces all over my floor when I do this. That means I do have to vacuum after a while. You can't use the die machine too many times before you have a big mess, unless you're just like very neat and tidy, which I am not, apparently. Okay, so there we go. We have that. And then there are all these cute little, there's three. There's one large pine cone, and there's two, well, they're actually, I didn't get them all out, did I? There they are. They did come out. Okay, so there's one large one, and there's two of these little tiny ones. That's the under part. And we're going to do that one with soft suede. And then I'm going to do crumb cake with the upper ones that are going to go right on top. Makes it really easy to do the pine cones. You don't have to color anything. And you know I like to color, but this actually just makes it super easy. You don't need to color. I've liked the result a lot, even without the coloring, but I actually, don't tell anyone, but I am going to color a little bit on this one. So I'm going to color those pine cones so that they can be a nice brown. Okay, these pine cones are just our little extras, our embellishments. That's one of the reasons I really like these dies, you know, the die sets. They're like, I don't even use today I'm going to use some rhinestones, but I just don't even use that stuff all that much because I buy the embellishments and then they sit there unused because I don't really need them. There's always these little cute things in a die set that I can use that I use in place of those embellishments. So those embellishments are all in a basket. Now this one's a little more detailed, so just to be on the safe side, I'm going to run it through a couple of times just to be sure. Okay. All right, now we can put that away. Ooh, that's loud. Snap, snap, snappity, snap. Okay, I'm going to take those off. Now that one, no, it didn't get any in there. It's coming out very clean. I haven't used them a ton yet, so the more you use them, the more you do have to use your dryer sheet to make sure that it's... Uh-oh, where did I... There it is. There you are. All right, so I haven't got my... I need to get my magnetic sheets in there. I haven't done that yet. All right. I'm not sure why. When we were moving, I know why. I didn't put my magnetic sheet in there because they were packed. We were in the apartment, I believe, when I got all that. I didn't have my magnetic sheet. There you go. Wow, that just came right out there, huh? Look at that. Wow, I'm not going to have to do anything with those. Now, I have seen that you can take your used plates like this if you want to make sure they stay nice and clean and straight, because they tend to bend. You can boil them in some water. You just get a big pot of hot water and let them boil in there for a long time, and then very carefully, obviously, get them out and use a rolling pin, a really heavy rolling pin, and try to straighten them out. And then it also, in that process of the just boiling in hot water, it cleans them too. Now, I haven't done it. My teammate, thank you, Freddie, reminded me they're only $12. And then with our discount, you know, it's about $10 for a pair of cutting plates. And the nice new ones are still going to look a lot nicer than your boiled and straightened ones. So I haven't actually done it. I was going to, but I haven't. All right, so now we've got our little pine cones all set. Let's put those together first. Okay. So there you go. Now, I'm going to use, I don't use my glue dots very much. Today I am. And I realized today as I was using, I don't use them because sometimes they're kind of awkward. Let me see if I can get a little more light on here. Okay, so here's why they're awkward. Now, this is your little putty tool. It's this pickup side that's very useful, and it actually has more than just that. Where's my other pieces? Oh, it's on it. You can use this side, and that side actually might work better. I haven't really tried that side too much. Now, how do I get it back in? You can see I don't use that very often, but I think I discovered that one of the reasons I don't tend to use my glue dots all that much, let's start with the big one, is because I get too much of it on whatever tool I'm using to pick it up. You just want to get it barely on there. And then when you stick it on, you can stick it on pretty hard on the paper and it stays. It's going to stay nicely. But if you scrape it like this, now it's stuck on there real good. You don't want that, because when you do it that way, it won't stick. It just tears your paper up. You see? Now I'm going to have to peel that off because it didn't really work. This seems really basic to you guys who are using your glue dots all the time. Like, you know this because you're thinking, what is she talking about? I mean, that's like baby knowledge, but it's not for me. I realized part of the reason I don't use these all that often is because I'm getting it too stuck on my tool or my fingernail, if I'm using my fingernail like that, to actually get it to stick onto my paper. But if you don't get it too stuck to your tool, this actually is a very fast way to stick on these things. Now, you could put your adhesive sheet on the back of it. And we'll do one with glue because glue's very fast. But I don't like always getting my fingers all sticky with glue. Sometimes it's like worth a little extra. I'm not doing a lot of these. So it's like worth a little extra nuisance just to not be all sticky. You don't need a bunch. All right, so we're gonna, it's on my nail. Let's get you on there. I don't want you on my nail. There we go. Okay, so there we go. It's pretty easy to line up. I'm kind of taking care to line it up, but you don't really have to. You can kind of just shove it on there because it's going to look good no matter what. So there's one. All right, this last sun. Oh, I forgot. I was going on and on about our sales and whatnot, and then reminded myself I didn't get to the part I wanted to. Now, see, I got it on the spatula too much. I don't want to do it that way. Just a tiny, tiny bit on there. You know, in January is the time you're going to want to join my team because it's going to be celebration, and that's the other thing that's really complicating this sale issue in my brain. There's too many things happening at once. There's clearance rack, there's the sale, there's retired products, there's figuring out which products are not retiring, that are just bundles, and it's just the bundle price that's retiring, not the actual product. Because I have bought things before thinking they were retiring, when actually it was just the bundle price that was retiring, and I could have waited and gotten it the next year because I wasn't going to use a Christmas stamp in January. Imagine that. But the celebration this year coming in January is just adding a whole other level of complication to me. Okay, that one I didn't get on the die exactly right, but look at it. It still looks fine. Okay, just to speed it up a bit, we'll just do a little dot. You don't need a ton of glue. And these are not going onto foil, so it's not like, doesn't matter. You can get a little glue on there. It's not going to matter a bit. It does go a little faster. Oops. Get you on there. Okay, there we go. So there's our little cute pine cones. Now we're gonna get this out. I've already done this, remember. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then just your little extra 4 1/2 by 5 3/4, because this is a pretty big piece. When I set this on top of that, you're gonna see, oh yeah, if it was a smaller card, it just barely fits on there. And when it's in the envelope, I don't want all these ends to be, you know, getting messed up with it going in and out of the envelope, because I am not going to put glue on all of those. Before I get going on that too much, I just want to show you how you can make your little, let's poke out some of the ones that didn't get poked out. You can make your pine cones brown. It's easy to do. You could use a sponge and just color them, because as long as you're using a light color, this light pear pizzazz is very pale. Mint macaron would be, old olive would be fine too. It'd end up being a darker brown, you know, but it would work fine. And then you can just color it. So I'm just going to get out my bronze blending pen. Oh no, this is soft suede. Okay, I lied. I'm getting out the soft suede blending pen, and I'm just going to cut quickly. I don't have to take a lot of care because I just don't want to get on the leaf, the needles. I guess those are spruce trees. But the pine cone doesn't even have to be perfect. Just sort, you know, it's very easy, isn't it? You can make them nice and brown. Jeff and I were at our ice cream place after church on Sunday, and one of the kids that always does the ice cream, he's fairly new. He got hired this summer, but he's gotten very comfortable and proficient there now. He's a really good employee of theirs. I don't know his name. He's a nice kid. They're all nice. We love that place. Really, we just haven't been anywhere where we haven't gotten good service, I think. But it was his birthday, and his mom came in just before us. And she had a big birthday cake. And as she was singing happy birthday, the whole place, of course, the people that work there and know him, you know, they knew it was going to happen, and they were all happy to do it with him. He was so embarrassed. Afterwards, I told Jeff, I felt a little sorry for him because he seemed like terribly embarrassed. Because I heard him say to his mom, all the customers were singing happy birthday to me. I thought, well, sure, we like you. You're a pretty nice kid. Anyway, he said no, he wasn't really. He was fine. And the lady that was the manager and was running it at the moment, she told him, take your 15-minute break, or a 15-minute, not maybe an extra one. Take take a break and go have some of the cake with your mom. So it was really fun. Okay, now this is where the little glue dot is coming in really handy, because I do not want to put a lot of glue on my foil. I don't have a good track record with that glue and foil. But again, just try to get it just barely on your... Should I use the other side of my pick tool and see if it's better? Because it might be. Let's do that. Let's try the other side. Okay, see how easy it is to do that? And now you have this nice little pick side. Yeah, I think actually that might... I don't use this side hardly. In fact, this might be the... Not the first time, but one of the few times I ever have used it. I should use it more. This might be convincing me to do it, because that actually is sticking down quite nicely. I'm not getting it all stuck on my fingernail like I usually do. So that was nice. We enjoyed that. It's been beautiful here. I can't believe how warm our weather is. It's been in the 70s. Now today is back to more normal. It's supposed to be in the 50s today, and 40s I think maybe tomorrow, and cold at night now in the 20s I think. So getting back to normal, but we had a whole week of just amazingly. We went to that Christmas tree, no, the Gardens Aglow, it's called. It's the Nathaniel Park Garden fundraiser that they do every year, where they decorate all the trees in the Japanese garden and the pavilions and all the other little buildings. They've got a lot of little buildings in there. It's such a cool park. And then they open it up, and we get to go in free, so because we're friends of the garden, and we will be going in several times. But we went in for the first time this last Saturday night, and oh, it was so gorgeous. Jeff said, this music was nice too, but it was different. It wasn't Christmas songs like we're used to. At least some of them were, but the ones we went in on initially, those first ones we were listening to, wasn't a song we knew. He said, what's that? Is that like from Frozen or something? And I said, yeah, probably. You know, I have no, how would I know? We don't have our grandkids near us, so I don't have the benefit of having little kids to be able to watch some of our favorite Christmas, or even just animated, any kind of Disney thing that we like, because I wouldn't be watching, that's not one of my favorite ones, obviously, since I've never even seen Frozen, but so we would watch it for our granddaughter, of course, who loves it, but I would, Jeff wouldn't. We like the old ones. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Lady and the Tramp, one of my favorites. All right, so that's quite a few little glue dots. I think that's going to be good enough. So let's try sticking that on there. That was a little bit painstaking, I know, but thank you for sticking it out with me. At least this way, you're not going to have to worry about your adhesive marring your foil. So you can just lay that on there, and if it doesn't quite lay on properly, you can adjust it if you don't push down until you've gotten it. Now I did get it off there a little bit, but not bad. All right, so there we go. Oops, I didn't get it on there right, apparently. There. Okay, perfect. All right, so you can see that, you know, it just makes those pine cones stand out, right? And we're not gonna just leave it like that anyway. Let's stick this down. This time, though, I can actually use glue because there's some good space back here to use it, and I'm not trying to stick it onto foil. It's the sticking it onto foil that's my issue. So what are your favorite Christmas, actually, what are your Advent? I guess there's a whole bunch of Advent, which I've always considered to be Christmas traditions, and they are, but technically, since Christmas isn't until the very end of all of them, they're Advent activities. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but if you're in a church that has a tradition of Advent, you would be thinking in those terms. And I was an organist for a Catholic church. I knew a great deal more about Advent than I do now because my spiritual heritage is Protestant, so we didn't, and not a catechism based kind of Protestant. So we did not do Advent, but there's a lot of really cool things about Advent. I'm just shifting that a little bit because it was quite not centered. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that cute? Oh, you gotta have this one, ladies. It's really nice. You could put any ribbon with that, and it would look nice. But I'm going to use this one. This one is, what is the name of this one? Oh, I don't think I wrote it on it. It's the woven one. I don't know if it's even available still, but it's so soft. I really like it. I must have used these scissors. These are kind of dull to cut my ribbon with last time too, because it's not cutting nicely at all, but since I'm fine with a frayed end, it's good. Okay, so we're gonna, is that Jeff coming home? I hope not. What would he be doing? Sometimes he comes home when he's in the middle of the day and he has a half day in one school and he has a, he's gonna get a quick bite of lunch. Somebody just pulled up in front of our house, and it looks like he's got, no, I don't think it is, though. I mean, I hate it when I feel like, oh no, he's here, because it's like he lives here. It's his house. And I'm actually happy to see him normally, but when I'm in the middle of a card thing, I'm not so much, because then he doesn't remember that I'm ever doing this, and it's like, well, I can't just stop what I'm doing. Oh, good. It wasn't even him. It was somebody else. They went away. All right. This is a nice room to have my craft room in because I can see everything. It's a giant window. It's right on the street, so I can see my neighbors and see everything that's going on out there. If somebody's delivering something, somebody's walking their dog. Okay, very, very cute. I do think I need to trim up my little ribbon end a little, it's a little sad there. So let's, maybe if I fray it a little more. No, it's just not really working. Not working. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so now what you're going to do is we're going to put we'll use these in a minute. Let's set that aside because first of all, I want to do our label. And I'm just going to do that on a piece of this crumb cake. Okay, this green is a very vibrant green, isn't it? Now look at your heartfelt wishes. I love this. I have all of these sentiments already. But I'm always a sucker for a nice handwritten, script one. I don't have a lot of those in script. And then this one had that sending love, which is nice. But isn't it nice, these nice ends? And it was really this just simple Merry Christmas and this much gratitude that got me because it's nice and long. It's just about exactly the right size of the font that you want. I don't know. I have a bunch of Merry Christmases, but this one just better than the ones I have. You do need a nice big block for it. It's a pretty long stamp. All right, so here we go. Call me Clover. Let's raise you up. You're awfully close there. And Call Me Clover is retired, of course. I think. Pretty sure it is, but I think that one's pretty close to what this green. This is a pretty bright, vibrant green. On crumb cake, it's not looking quite so vibrant, but if I had done, any of our darker greens, it would have really muddied it up. So you need something bright on that. All right. So for Advent, what's your favorite things for Advent? One of my, you know what, at the park, I forgot, this weekend we also went to, the park this weekend has a section called the Gray Campbell Farmstead, or Homestead, and they had their buildings open. Those buildings are usually locked, and they have the kids come for field trips and do things in there with them. And you can tour it, but it's only open at certain times. You probably have to schedule, you know, a time. And for just, you'd have to have a big enough group to do it. It's free. I don't think they charge anything for any of that. It's really nice. They're nice buildings. We hadn't seen in it because we'd missed whatever event had happened earlier since we've been here. So we were so excited to hear they were going to do a Gray Campbell Farmstead Christmas event. And we went from 1 o'clock to 3 or 3:30. And we got to, what they were having in each of the buildings, they had little craft or, you know, some kind of practice of some kind activity for the kids. There were a lot of people there, but not a ton, because the people who live here and do that sort of thing, I bet a lot of them were homeschool families, because the school kids, I'm sure all the schools take turns, you know, going and getting a field trip there. Maybe not every year, but at least probably a couple of times when you would do, you know, that kind of history stuff. So that would make it, you know, less crowded and less special, I suppose, for people who grew up here, but we loved it. It was a pretty good crowd, but not so terribly crowded. They were dressed up in their period costumes. They were such nice people, too. I do want to trim really close to those words, because I don't want this label to be big at all. Now that's good and stuck in there. One of the ladies had, one guy was dressed up like Father Christmas. He was really cool. He had a really good traditional type Old English costume. It was really neat. One of the babies that came in just as we were getting ready to leave, the mother wanted to take a picture of him on his knee, and of course the child squalling and very unhappy about that because he was handing him to a strange old bearded man. We skedaddled. Everybody was happy. It was great. But in the barn, there was a couple, you know, and the guy showed Jeff around, told him some stuff. While he was doing that, she was playing the accordion really well. She was good. She took requests, so I got to sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing with her, because that's one of our favorite ones. And when I told, she said, what ones do you want to do? You know, like, well, this is the one that's our favorite one, and I know it's kind of a hard one to play. She did a really good job, so that was super fun. Now this is Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. I believe this one is still in the catalog. It's nice to be able to use a punch to make these exactly the size you want. You know, that's handy. I do have a die that's probably going to be that size, but maybe not. It's pretty long. All right, so that was really good. I got to sing a couple of songs. That is one of the traditions of Advent, is singing Advent or Christmas songs. And of course at our church they did Advent songs. We had we did O Come Emmanuel. I've never heard it done that well. I mean, it was absolutely fabulous, ladies. I wish, I forgot to share our service. I will go on our regular Facebook page when I'm done here, and I'm going to share our church service. If you want to hear that version, oh my goodness, it was, I hope it came off as well in their video feed, you know, as it sounded in the actual church, because it was just amazingly good. I've done Oh Come Emmanuel a lot. It's never sounded that good. They had the drums just doing it perfectly. Okay, I'm gonna take the big one and stick that one right on there. Okay, so such a cute Christmas card. Do you guys like doing Christmas cards for people? I love it. It's just one of my favorite things. Like, I like making cards anyway, but Christmas cards are the best. Very fun. I wonder if a big one would fit on there. It might. Let's see. I know the mini one will, but a big one, well, that's too big. Probably better just do a mini one. I don't even know if I need a second one, maybe. I want to cover up this spot right here. It just seems like it kind of needs, you know, needs something right there. So we're going to cover that spot up, and then we'll use our little tool to add some red rhinestones, which I'm sure are not in the catalog anymore. They're pretty old. They've been out for a very long time. Oop. Let's just take your sheet out. Okay. We want to get a few of them here. They're so pretty. So pretty. I'm sure there's holiday rhinestones. I know there's going to be something red in the catalog. You'll be able to find something, I'm sure, if you don't already have it. As you can see, I have a bunch. They're again, another color that's going to be used forever at Christmas time and at Valentine's and probably one other time in the year too that I can't think of. So that's like a staple. You've got to have red rhinestones somewhere. Okay, so that is that. And then I just need to do a very vanilla base card to glue that to, and we are done. I could get out my stamps and do an inside piece. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm gonna have to use, this has turned out to be a bigger card, and normally if I do a bigger card, I'm gonna make it way bigger, you know. We get 2 cards out of every 8.5 by 11 sheet when you're using a 4 1/4 by 5 card. So when I sized it up to 4 1/2 by 5 3/4, now I can only get 1 card base out of this sheet with that size. So I'm just saying normally I would size it up more. I would go 6 by 9 and make it worth wasting, you know, a whole sheet of paper. But we're gonna go 5 3/4. I believe that's what I did. 5 3/4 and 4 1/2. Score it there. Let's see if that's correct. It should be. Yes, it is. Very good. And if you were going to do a fancy card, you could do use your little fold there and make something really nice, but we're going to just trim it off. If I can trim it off, for some reason my cutter didn't quite get through there. Okay, so we are almost done. I did not get to all the things I like to do for Advent. You guys can be thinking about it because I'm going to talk to you about it next week. I want to hear what your traditions are. You could make this layered even more by putting dimensionals on it, but we're going to glue it instead. And what time is it? My goodness, I'm getting done pretty early today. I could maybe have done another project. Normally if I'm doing something that I have to cut out, it takes longer. This is pretty fast because there's no real coloring other than just darkening up that pine cone. You know, you're all set and good to go. But isn't this so cute? That's what the dies just make these backgrounds go so quick. You could do a whole bunch of cards. If you were going to do a lot, you could just do it in an assembly line style and cut out, have them all stacked up with their piles of bows here and piles of pear pizzazz bows here, and then you can just start gluing it, and you could do 20 cards with this style super fast and easy. Okay, very good. We are done for today. So again, make sure you are getting on that website, my website, I hope, and purchase all your stamping things, all of it. Just get it all. Right now there's a bunch of stuff on sale, but because it's on sale, it's gonna be gone, and we don't know when. All the retired things are not coming back. This set that I'm showing, I believe that one is. So there you go. It's just too cute to miss. Now this year, of course, it's going to be, you don't want to probably buy your Christmas things that you want to use this year now. But again, this is a classic. You're never going to get tired of this one. It's a good background to layer. You could layer other, your animal on here. You could do for fall. This is a really good fall one too. But I had all my favorite other fall ones I was doing, so I saved it for Christmas. All right, you have a great day. Thank you so much, Linda and Trudy, for joining me. And for everyone else that is seeing me later, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Make sure you share the video. And I will look at your comments if you make a comment. I always read them and enjoy that. So go ahead and do that. If you want to connect with me in any way, I would be happy to. You can always click I think this has a link on it. You can click on it. It's actually going to take you to Stampin' Up. But Stampin' Up has all of my social media links right at the top. So you can always find me on Pinterest or YouTube or Instagram. I took off my Twitter account because I was sick and tired of their immoral propaganda that was being forced down everyone's throats. So I'm off of Twitter. But other than Twitter, I have the other stuff still going. So I would be happy to see you. You have a blessed day and a wonderful Christmas. I hope it's nice where you are. Next week I'll be back, and we'll be back between 1 and 2. I'm going to try to be here at 1 o'clock on Central Time, which is my time zone now. I'm trying to get to 1, but I am going to be later than that at times. It's terribly difficult for me to be ready in time at 1 here. I don't know. I was able to manage it back at home where we were 2 hours earlier on the West Coast of Pacific Standard Time. I don't know why it was easy for me there. It's hard here. I think I'm doing a lot more or something. I don't know. I am going to go out on a bike ride, I hope, or at least a walk before the weather turns cold, because it's still pretty nice today. I guess that's it. See you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.